DST from the Denver Radio Club. Good evening. My name is Joe, Juliet Oscar Echo, and my call sign is W0TX Whiskey Tango 0 Charlie. Welcome to the DRC Net, being held on repeater W0TX. This is a meeting held on the air every Sunday evening at 8:30 p.m. The net is for Denver Radio Club members and all other interested ham radio operators. I'm your net control station tonight, transmitting from Centennial, Colorado. If there is any emergency or priority traffic during this net, say break at any pause and the net will be suspended until the emergency or priority traffic is complete. Regular meetings of the Denver Radio Club are held on the third Wednesday of every month at 7 p.m. on Google Meets and or in person. The link for Google Meets is on our website. The address is w0tx.org/meet. We hold an Elmer session at 6 o'clock p.m. just prior to monthly meetings. The Elmer sessions address any ham radio questions you might have. Whether you are new to the hobby or interested in some new application of ham radio, you can get great advice at the Elmer sessions. Also, every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m., except on the Wednesday when our monthly meeting is held, the club holds a learning net on the 145.49 and 448.625 megahertz linked repeaters. The learning net is another good place where you can find answers to your ham radio questions, and it's a great net for newer hams. As a general interest club, we provide emergency communication services for the Salvation Army, the City of Wheat Ridge Police Department, the City of Lakewood Police Department, the West Metro Fire District, and St. Anthony's West Hospital. We are always looking for members who would like to participate in this support. If you would like to help, please contact our club president, Kevin Schmidt, K0KPS. Kevin's email address is president@w0tx.org. The Denver Radio Club website address is w0tx.org. Please visit it frequently for current club news, activities, and events. The Denver Radio Club also participates in the ARRL Volunteer Examiner Program. If you have a need for license testing, the DRC license testing information is posted on our website. If you have other license test information questions, please contact our VE team lead, Robert Pickett, K0RAP, at k0rap@w0tx.org. We're grateful to hams that belong to other radio clubs in the Denver area and who check into this net, and we thank them occasionally for sharing VE test information for their local clubs as well. This is the Denver Radio Club net with WT0C serving as net control. Are there any special announcements or bulletins for the net this evening? If so, please call now. Before regular check-ins, I would like to welcome and invite any visiting radio amateurs to check into the Net Radio Club net this evening. You can use either 145.49 megahertz with a minus 600 kilohertz offset, or 448.625 megahertz with a minus 5 megahertz offset, both with a 100 hertz PL tone. Are there any visiting radio amateurs who would like to check into the Denver Radio Club net tonight? If so, please call now. Hearing none, I would like to welcome any newly licensed or recently upgraded ham radio operators to check in. So if that's you, please call now. I will now take regular check-ins in groups. Please let me know if you have traffic when you check in, and I'll get back to you after we handle club business. Please provide your call sign and first name when you check in, and as always, standard phonetics are always appreciated. So let's start with radio amateurs whose call sign suffixes begin with the letters A through E, Alpha through Echo. Please call now.
Cal 10, Delta Papa Romeo, Paul in Aurora.
Alpha Delta 0 Alpha Papa, Elizabeth in Aurora.
Whiskey Bravo 0 Alpha Kilo Victor, WB0 AKV, Rich in Westminster. Kilo Charlie 0, Charlie Zulu, Bob in Thornton.
Good evening to K0 DPR, Paul, AD0 AP, Elizabeth, WB0 AKV, Rich, and KC0 CZ, Bob. Thank you all for your check-ins. Any other stations, call sign suffixes A through E, Alpha through Echo.
Kilo, Foxtrot 0, Uniform Mike Charlie, Charles.
Okay, just missed the last letter of the call. KF0 Uniform Mike question mark?
That was Charlie, Uniform Mike Charlie.
Okay, Charles, got it that time. Thanks for the correction. KF0 UMC, and thank you for your check-in. Any other stations, Alpha through Echo, please call now.
W0TX repeater.
Okay, moving along, we'll take call sign suffixes F through J, Foxtrot through Juliet, please call now.
Whiskey 0 Golf Victor, Jerry in Westminster.
Kilo 6 Hotel Juliet Victor, Tom Arvada.
Good evening to W0GV, Jerry, and K6HJV, Tom. Thank you both for your check-ins. Any other stations, F through J, Foxtrot through Juliet, please call now. Okay, next I'll take call sign suffixes K through O, Kilo through Oscar, please call now.
Whiskey 0 Foxtrot, Orland Golden, no traffic, over.
Good evening, Orland, WW0LF, thank you for your check-in. Any other stations, K through O, Kilo through Oscar. Moving along, I'll take call sign suffixes P through T, Papa through Tango. Please call now.
Whiskey Bravo 2, Sierra Hotel Romeo, Stan in Denver, no traffic. November 0, Tango Romeo Papa, Jim in Lakewood.
November 0 Quebec Oscar Oscar Earl in Wheat Ridge.
Okay, good evening to WB2SHR and N0TRP. And there was a double with Stan and WB2SHR. Could that station come back again, please?
November 0, Quebec Oscar Oscar, Earl, and Wheatridge.
Okay, thank you for that repeat, Earl. N0QOO, thank you for your check-in. Any other stations, Papa through Tango, P through T, please come now.
P0 Papa India Charlie, your PIC.
Okay, stations with the suffix POC, I believe it was. You're a little noisy. Could you repeat again, please?
That was Whiskey 0 Papa India Charlie, W0PIC Adam Arvada.
Got it that time, Adam. Thank you. W0PIC, and thank you for your check-in. Any other stations? P through T, Papa through Tango, please call now. Okay, I'll now take the end of the alphabet. Call sign suffixes U through Z, uniform through Zulu. Please come now. I'll now take the entire alphabet. Call sign suffixes A through Z, Alpha through Zulu. Please call now.
This is Kilo Echo 0, Yankee Kilo Victor, Bill in Lakewood.
Kilo 1, Delta Bravo Charlie, K1 DBC, Durham.
Good evening, Bill, K0YKV, and Durham K1 DBC. Thank you both for your check-ins. Any other stations? Call sign suffixes A through Z, Alpha through Zulu. Please come now. Okay, I think we have everyone for now. So next I'll invite our club president, Kevin, K0KPS, to discuss club business. So Kevin, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Joe, for taking the net. I see Adam, Whiskey 0 Papa India Charlie, either got a new license or an upgrade. So if we haven't previously acknowledged it, congratulations on becoming a general. So I hope you enjoy the new privileges. So Adam, congrats.
Thank you, sir. I've been a general actually for a few years. I just got a new vanity call sign now. Appreciate it, though. Whiskey 0 Papa India Charlie.
Oh, congratulations anyway. Okay, so for the rest of you that have checked into the net tonight, many of you I saw this weekend because it's the ARRL Field Day, which started on Saturday and ended today. Many of you that checked in had a presence there. We had approximately 68 people show up. Many of them were hams. Some of them were interested in becoming hams. So for those of you that came to the field day with questions, I hope you certainly got them answered and can go forth with the information that you gleaned. We had 3 stations that are operational. We had a 40-meter station doing CW. We had a 20-meter station doing single sideband, a 15-meter station doing FT8, and a Get On the Air station that was on 10 meters. So we were a 3A club, I believe, as a designation. And as soon as we can tabulate all the QSOs, we'll get with those numbers out after we tabulate the results. got to give a special shout out to Dick, November 6th Whiskey Hotel Victor, who was the field day coordinator, and his wife Kathy and his son, who provided the food. Some people have referred to amateur radio clubs as a eating club with a radio disorder, and we certainly appreciate, the food, that was provided, by Dick and his wife and his son. We certainly appreciate it. We also had a balloon launch today, a successful balloon launch. Pete, Alpha Bravo 8, Whiskey November, and his wife, Kelly, Kilo Bravo 0, Golf Papa, had a successful balloon launch. Unfortunately, the radio decided it wanted to go QRT and did, so we are unable to track it any further other than watching the successful launch. I want to give a shout out for all the volunteers that showed up, helped us set up on Saturday. We got it up, everything was operational. I want to give a shout out also to Rich, Whiskey Bravo 0, Alpha Kilo Victor, for his Salvation Army van and the radio tower. We appreciate that. And without all the volunteers, we would not have had a successful field day. So I got to give a shout out to everybody that showed up and participated. I hope everybody had a good time. And with that, unless there's any comments, criticisms, questions for me, I'm going to give it back to Net Control. And this is Kevin, Kilo 0, Kilo Papa Sierra. Back to Net.
W0TX repeater.
Okay, Kevin, thanks very much. Great update. Does anyone on a frequency have any questions for Kevin at this time? Please call now. This is the Denver Radio Club Net and W0TX, your net control station. Does anyone on frequency have any further business for the net? If so, please call now. Denver Radio Club maintains 10 repeaters serving the Denver metro area and beyond for use by all radio amateurs. A list of those repeaters, along with their offsets, tones, locations, and additional information, can be found at w0tx.org/repeaters. So I'd like to thank everyone for checking in to the Radio Club, Denver Radio Club Net tonight. Your support's greatly appreciated. Tonight we had 16 check-ins, and the Denver Radio Club W0TX Net is now closed at 20:49 local time, and the repeater is available for general use. This is W0TX, your net control station. Hope everybody has a good week, and 73.
This is Kilo 1 Delta Bravo Charlie K1 DBC. Just in case anybody's interested, we'll be playing the amateur radio news line here in just a couple minutes. We're going to play the ARRL news, but it's a little bit dry this week. But if anybody wants to hang out for another couple of minutes, we'll be playing that here in just a few minutes. This is Kilo 1 Delta Bravo Charlie. Just in case anybody's interested in sticking around, just another second or so here, we'll be playing the amateur radio news line. You can QSY, change frequencies if you want to talk on our repeaters. During that time, for the next 10 to 15 minutes, the 147.330 repeater is available, and one of our other repeaters is not interlinked as well. Here comes the amateur radio news line.
Node 5162 2.
Amateur Radio Newsline, report number 2539 with a release date of Friday, June 26th, 2026. To follow in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The following is a QST. NASA faces a huge antenna repair bill. South Korea marks a quarter century of fox hunting championships. And in breaking news, an earthquake rocks Venezuela. All this and more as Amateur Radio Newsline report number 2539 comes your way right now.
From around the world, this is Newsline, Amateur Radio's independent, on-the-air news and bulletin service. Now, reporting from Union, Kentucky, here's Neil Rapp, WB9 VPG.
As Newsline went to production, a state of emergency was declared in Venezuela following a pair of closely spaced earthquakes measuring a magnitude of 7.2 and 7.5. Injuries and deaths were reported across the South American nation, where amateur radio operators began receiving reports via Domingo L. Hernandez Lima, YV5IZE of the Venezuelan Radio Club, that the capital city of Caracas was among those areas that had lost power. Using batteries, hams were already activating voice and digital emergency nets on HF. A global call went out for amateurs to keep the frequency at 7.135 megahertz clear. Emergency communication coordinators for hams in Cuba, Colombia, Honduras, Guatemala, Nicaragua, El Salvador, and others in the region were asked to remain on standby. Newsline will be following the story as it unfolds. We turn next to NASA, which is facing antenna troubles, which, as many of us know, are not only a bother, but can be downright costly in certain cases. Kent Peterson, KC0DGY, tells us about the particularly high cost of a set of antenna woes facing one NASA Deep Space Station right now.
The U.S. Space Agency, NASA, is facing a repair bill of between $4.1 and $4.6 million for Deep Space Station 14, its 70-meter RF antenna near Barstow, California, all because of what it has found to be inadequate procedures and inadequate training of workers. A report recently released by the agency said that its investigation found a number of primary causes, including human error, weaknesses in software, and an undetected failure in the antenna's hydraulic limit system, which is its final mechanical safeguard. The incident that took the antenna out of service occurred last September as it was tracking the Juno mission for deep space exploration focused on Jupiter. The antenna over-rotated, adding stress to structural supports and cables and damaging water lines feeding the antenna's fire suppression system. An article on NASA's website states that the investigators concluded that operators felt compelled by workplace culture to work as quickly and efficiently as possible, quote, often stretching beyond their usual roles, expertise, and training to keep the antenna operating, end quote. NASA considers these findings to be its final report. The antenna, a key part of the Deep Space Network, is expected to be out of service until October of 2028. This is Kent Peterson, KC0DGY.
W0TX Repeater.
As Newsline went to production, hams were arriving at Messe Friedrichshafen to attend Europe's top amateur radio event, and in North America, hams in Canada and the U.S. were getting on the air for Field Day. In Huntsville, Alabama, registration is already underway for the Huntsville Ham Fest, which opens on the 22nd of August. It's going to be another busy season, but not before one more event, which begins on July 1st at 1300 UTC, the annual 13 Colonies special event, which is celebrating America's 250th birthday. It concludes on July 8th at 0400 UTC. Now in its 18th year of operation, the event is featuring downloadable certificates for the first time. As always, stations will represent the 13 original colonies, and there will be bonus contacts with GB13COL, TM13COL, and WM3PEN. This year's event is dedicated to Ken Vallone, KU2US, the founder of the 13 Colonies event, who became a last year. Visit 13colonies.us for more details. Be sure to use numerals 1 and 3 for 13. The trio of satellites are called FireSats, and they are set to launch this summer with a special mission, as we hear from Daniel Garcia, W2DIY.
This summer, 3 new satellites are expected to be launched to serve as the equivalent of fire towers in the sky. 3 FireSat satellites are being readied by the nonprofit Earthfire Alliance and its wildlife detection program, which is satellite-based. The 3 FireSats have received support from a $26 million grant from the Bezos Earth Fund. The initiative also has the support of Google. The FireSats are expected to monitor for wildfires in critical and sensitive areas at least twice a day, with a special emphasis on the Amazon basin, which is known to be particularly vulnerable. The Earthfire Alliance released a statement saying that it hopes to have more satellites in place to assist with such monitoring so that every point on the planet will be seen every 20 minutes. This is Daniel Garcia, W2DIY.
Funding from the YASME Foundation is helping restore an important reverse beacon node, and Jim Meachins at L2BHF has the details.
The reverse beacon node serving Mauritius is on necessary repairs with the help of a grant announced by the YASME Foundation. The Worldwide Foundation's Board of Directors approved a grant in February, but it was only recently announced. The funds are being given to Ashwin Mandari, 3B8GL, who will repair his node of the RBN. The move was praised by the Mauritius Amateur Radio Society, whose active hams rely on the network. An RBN station monitors signal propagation, listening specifically for CW and digital modes. Ashwin is treasurer of the Mauritius Amateur Radio Society. In a separate move, the YASME Foundation is also providing a grant to the Korean Amateur Radio League to support its involvement in the activities of the Youth on the Air program. The program is well respected by young amateurs in South Korea, who used the call sign HL0YOTA during the December 2025 YOTA month event. This is Jim Meachin, ZL2BHF.
In Korea, the national championship for fox hunting has just finished its 25th year, and it's popular as ever, as we hear from John Williams, VK4JJW.
Amateur radio direction finding, or fox hunting, is a big priority among hams in South Korea, where the 19th Direction Finding World Championships were held in 2018, hosted by the Korean Amateur Radio League. That was the same year a commemorative postage stamp was issued by the Korea Post Office. This organized pursuit of hidden transmitters continues in Korea, as its national championship recently marked its first quarter century as a formal event. The 25th Korean Amateur Radio Direction Finding National Championship was held in Wonju on the 13th of June. Navigating fields and forests with the help of maps, compasses and radio receivers, hams worked as both teams and individuals, with sections created by gender and age. Korea's Central Radio Management Service, the agency that oversees radio spectrum and amateur radio, looks favorably upon the development of direction-finding techniques to sharpen communication technology skills useful in emergency response situations. This is John Williams, VK4JJW.
In the UK, the Intruder Watch team is looking for volunteers who can monitor the amateur bands for harmful interference. Jeremy Boot, G4NGH, tells us how to get involved.
Although the International Amateur Radio Union says that its Intruder Watch service is not the band's police, it places a big emphasis on the difference that volunteer monitors can make, keeping the amateur bands free from harmful interference. Watch service participants identify unauthorized transmissions and report them to their relevant national coordinator. In the UK, the Intruder Watch team of the Radio Society of Great Britain is looking for more volunteers. It plays an important part in finding and disclosing the harmful interference by non-amateur stations. These often include broadcast signals distant over-the-horizon radar. The IARU notes on its website that such intrusions appear to be growing rapidly. Ian Stewart, GM4AUP, RSGB coordinator, asks that anyone wanting to learn more or to offer help should contact him at iw@rsgb.org.uk. This is Jeremy Bucci for NJH.
Time for you to identify your station. We are the Amateur Radio Newsline, heard on bulletin stations around the world, including the W0TX repeater in Burlington, New Jersey, on Fridays at 7 p.m. local time. The Yoda America's regional camp in Huntsville, Alabama blasted off on Sunday, June 14th, immediately launching campers into ham radio and space-related adventures. Andy Morrison, K9AWM, tells us more.
35 campers arrived in Huntsville, Alabama from 17 states and 3 countries, the U.S., Mexico, and Argentina. But their focus quickly turned to matters high above the Earth. They enjoyed an ARIS contact with astronaut Chris Williams, KJ5GEW, and a surprise visit from Penny Pettigrew, Payload Communications Manager, and others from NASA's Marshall Space Flight Center Payload Operations Team. Closer to planet Earth, campers sent up a balloon to near space, topping out at 93,500 feet as it signaled as W4Y-11 on APRS. The balloon carried a successful biological experiment from Xavier University and a radiation experiment using Polaroid film. 2 Pico balloons, W9EAR-12 and KM4ZIA-1, were also launched. In between sharpening their kit-building skills and getting acquainted with how to work D-expeditions and using the DX W4Y, visited the U.S. Space and Rocket Center and the Signals Museum. The week ended with an intercultural evening which brought everyone back down to Earth. Want to sample some of the fun vicariously? Visit the Youth on the Air channel on YouTube. Bring your own refreshments. This is Andy Morrison, K9AWM.
W0TX repeater.
Let's face it, sporting events of all kinds are the most fun when fans and supporters can watch as the action unfolds in the moment. The World Radio Sport Team Championship, which begins in UK from the 8th through to the 13th of July, is no different. Now, keeping track during the contest in real time as possible as we hear from Dave Lee, M9TLB. A live scoreboard created by World Radio League in collaboration with WRTC 2026 will make its debut at the competition next month, allowing thousands of viewers to follow the action as it happens. The platform will feature integrated spotting and will offer updated live rankings, a leaderboard, pages for each team, and a list of top countries and top contacts. We'll be able to track how many QSOs they've had with the teams on individual bands and in what modes. The platform is still a work in progress, subject to refinement. Viewers can get a look at what's planned by visiting the YouTube channel for Q5 Worldwide Ham Radio, which is hosting a demonstration by James Cribbs, N0WRL, CEO and founder of World Radio League. See the link in the text version of this week's newscast at arnewsline.org. Meanwhile, the WRTC 2026 committee has approved the operation of 6 remote operating positions at the competition's headquarters in Boston, UK. All the remote stations are considered world-class contest stations. Their call signs are ZW5B in Brazil, 7Q6M in Malawi, VK6SJ in Australia, ZF5T in the Cayman Islands, and 2 US stations, K6RO in Maine and KH7M in Hawaii. Individual operators who would like to sign up can visit the link that appears in the text version of this week's newscast. This is Dave Lee, M9TLB. In the world of DX, a 3-member team of hams will be using the call sign PQ1I from Espírito Santo State, Brazil, IOTA Group SA067 on the 24th through the 26th of July. Their main activity will occur during the RSGP IOTA contest. Listen for them using CW sideband and FT8, FT4 on 40, 20, 15, and 10 meters. The hams are Renato, PY8WW, Renner, PY7RP, and Alex, PP1DX. Red, DL1BUG, will be using the call sign TY5FR from Benin from the 7th of July through to the 4th of August. He will be on 160 through 10 meters, where he will be operating CW and sideband. July will be off to a busy start for members of the Russian Robinson Club, who will spend the 4th through to the 9th of July operating as RI1ZR from 4 more islands off the coast of the Murmansk region. The team will be using CW sideband and possibly digital modes on 40 through 10 meters. Pierre VE3 KTB is back on the air with the call sign VY0ERC from the Eureka Amateur Radio Club station on Ellesmere Island, IOTA number NA008, through to the 22nd of July. Listen for him on the HF bands operating CW, sideband, and FT8. Listen for the call sign CS5AIRA, which will be active from the Barra Lighthouse in Portugal on July 18th from 0900 UTC to 1700 UTC. Hams will be calling CQ on 20 and 40 meters as well as VHF and UHF frequencies. There will be activity as well via echolink, Lusafona, the QO100 satellite, and DMR via BrandMeister talk groups 268 and 91. For other operating details or QSL information, visit the QRZ.com pages for each of these stations. Now they're older, wiser, and soon on the air, as we hear from Graham Kemp, VK4BB.
The push for youngsters' involvement, education, and adventure in amateur radio seems everywhere, from courses in STEM to intensive camps that promise a bit of work and a bit of play. Now into the mix comes the Wireless Institute of Australia, which has released a new publicity brochure that focuses on bringing new hams into the hobby. These are prospective hams who are a little bit, maybe a whole lot more than a little bit older. In other words, this is recruitment for the grown-ups, the parents whose kids have moved out and moved away. It's for the retired who want a challenge but not another job. It's for anyone who's come of age at a time when it's exciting to discover the ever-increasing options that come with having an amateur radio license. It might even be for grandmothers and grandfathers who want to operate portable with their ham radio operator grandkids. The brochure, unveiled at the recent WIA annual general meeting in Albury, Australia, targets them all. Those non-amateurs who may want to consider becoming older and wiser in the ways of radio science. It's something we can all grow into. For details, or if you wish copies of the brochure to distribute at club meetings, contact the Administrative Office of the Wireless Institute of Australia. This is Graham Kemp, VK4BB.
Thanks to Amateur Radio Daily, AMSAT News, ARRL, Asia Business Daily, Axios, David B, RK7DB, EHAM.com, 425DX News, IARU, Mauritius Amateur Radio Society, NASA.gov, QRZ.com, Radio Society of Great Britain, shortwaveradio.de, Space News, Wireless Institute of Australia, World Radio Sport Team Championship, Yasme Foundation, Youth on the Air Americas, and you, our listeners. That's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline. We remind our listeners that Amateur Radio Newsline is an all-volunteer, non-profit organization that incurs expenses for its continued operation. If you wish to support us, please visit our website at arnewsline.org and know that we appreciate you all. We also remind our listeners that if you like our newscast, please leave us a 5-star rating wherever you subscribe to us. For now, with Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team worldwide, I'm Neil Rapp, WB9VPG in Union, Kentucky. 7-3. And as always, we thank you for listening. Amateur Radio Newsline is copyright 2026. Amateur Radio Newsline retains ownership of its material even when retransmitted elsewhere. All rights are reserved.